I remember the day it started. Everything felt normal. Then my life with Jamie was comfortable, predictable, even happy. I suppose we built a home together, a quiet existence, filled with small routines and comforting rituals. Every morning, coffee together; every evening, a shared meal, discussions about our day, our plans for the weekend, our future, our intertwined dreams. I thought I wanted nothing more, nothing less than that steady rhythm, that peaceful predictability. But somewhere deep inside, a tiny spark of restlessness flickered, a faint, unsettling whisper that grew louder. With time, I ignored it for a long time. I pushed it down, convinced myself that what I had was enough, more than enough. Really, Jamie was kind, thoughtful, always there for me, a pillar of unwavering support. We had history, years of shared laughter and quiet understanding, a bond forged through countless challenges and triumphs. I truly believed in our future, our shared dreams, a simple house, a dog, maybe kids. Someday, it all felt so certain, so secure. That security, though, started to feel like a cage, sometimes a beautiful gilded cage, but a cage nonetheless. I loved Jamie. I truly did. But the passion, the intense, all-consuming connection we once had, it had faded into something softer, gentler, like a warm, familiar blanket, instead of a roaring, exhilarating fire. It was comfortable, yes, but sometimes I craved the heat, the danger, the unpredictable dance of a new flame. Again, I felt intensely guilty for even thinking such thoughts, ashamed of my wandering mind, my disloyal heart. I tried to rein it in, to focus on all the good things, all the immutable reasons I should be profoundly content. I buried myself in work, in hobbies, in anything that would distract me from that nagging, persistent whisper that something vital was irrevocably missing from my carefully constructed life, a piece of my own soul, perhaps. Then Sam walked into my life, completely unexpectedly. It was at a work conference, a new colleague from a different department. Sam had a laugh that was infectious, a quick, sharp wit that challenged me intellectually in ways Jamie never had, a fascinating curiosity about the world. Sam saw things differently, spoke with a vibrant energy that was captivating. Our conversations were always stimulating, full of new ideas, new perspectives, a refreshing departure from the familiar. I found myself drawn to Sam's energy, like a moth to a bright, irresistible light. I spent more and more time with Sam. Initially, it was innocent, just colleagues bonding over shared projects. Then it became intentional coffee breaks, then lunch, then after-work drinks, just us talking for hours about everything and nothing. I told myself it was harmless. A friendship? Nothing more? A platonic connection? I needed a mental escape, a creative outlet, a spark of intellectual excitement. Sam offered that in spades, a vibrant, intellectual companionship I desperately craved. But deep down, in the quiet recesses of my conscience, I knew I was playing with fire. I felt a thrilling jolt every time Sam messaged me, a nervous flutter in my stomach when our eyes met across the office. A dangerous, exhilarating excitement I hadn't felt in years. I started dressing a little differently for work, putting in more effort, subtly, trying to catch Sam's eye, trying to impress Sam, not for professional gain, but for something far more personal and illicit. I rationalized it as professional ambition, as wanting to look good for my career. But the truth was far more complicated, far more sinister. My thoughts were consumed by Sam during the day and haunted by guilt at night. A relentless internal battle raged within me. The line blurred. Eventually, it was inevitable, I suppose, one rainy evening after a particularly intense work session, we were the last two in the office. The conversation flowed easily, naturally full of shared vulnerabilities and a palpable tension, a connection that felt almost predestined. Sam looked at me with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine, a look that said, "I see you, truly see you beyond the surface, beyond the roles we play." And in that moment, I felt seen, truly understood in a way I hadn't felt in years with Jamie. It was a silent understanding, a comfortable shared glance, a familiar brush of hands. But this was different. It was raw. It was primal. It was electrifying. Then Sam's hand was on mine, a gentle, tentative touch that ignited something long dormant within me. My heart hammered in my chest, a warning sign, a siren screaming in my ears, a desperate plea from my conscience. But I ignored it. I leaned in. Sam leaned in. And the kiss was electrifying, a surge of forbidden pleasure, a desperate escape. It was wrong, so utterly wrong, a complete betrayal of everything I held dear. But it felt profoundly right in that moment, a forbidden fruit. I craved a release from the suffocating comfort, the mundane routine of my life. With Jamie, the affair began a secret life, a thrilling, dangerous double existence. Every touch, every stolen moment, every whispered word. With Sam was a rush of adrenaline, a desperate attempt to feel alive again, to feel desired, to feel something new and exciting and utterly reckless. The guilt was a constant companion, a heavy stone in my stomach, a bitter taste in my mouth. But the allure of Sam, the intoxicating feeling of being wanted in that raw, intense way, it was too powerful, too addictive, to resist. I lied to Jamie constantly about late nights at work, about urgent meetings, about unexpected travel. About everything. My life became a carefully constructed, intricate web of deceit. I hated myself for it, for the person I was becoming, a stranger to myself. But I couldn't stop. The pull was too strong, the escape too addictive, the craving too intense. Living a double life was utterly exhausting, a relentless charade. The lies piled up, one on top of another, threatening to crumble at any moment, exposing my ugly truth. I became profoundly paranoid. Every phone call, every text message sent my heart racing. I imagined Jamie knowing, seeing the truth in my eyes and my forced smiles and my evasive answers. I started to avoid intimacy with Jamie, feeling like a fraud, a despicable traitor. Every touch, every kiss felt like a profound betrayal, a sacrilege against our shared history. I started to notice even more acutely how much Jamie truly loved me, how innocent and trusting Jamie was, how much Jamie believed in us, in our shared future. And that made the guilt even worse. It gnawed at me constantly, a relentless torment. I couldn't sleep. I lost my appetite. My friends noticed I was different, more withdrawn, anxious, perpetually distracted. But I couldn't tell them. I couldn't tell anyone what I was doing, what I had become. The secret isolated me from everyone I cared about, pushing me further into my own dark world of deception. I was stuck in a vicious cycle of craving Sam's presence, then being consumed by overwhelming self-loathing after leaving Sam. I knew I was hurting Jamie. I knew I was destroying everything we had built with such care and effort. But the fear of confronting my choices, the fear of losing Sam, the fear of blowing up my entire life and facing the devastating consequences, it kept me paralyzed, unable to act, unable to confess, unable to stop. I tried to convince myself that I could end it, that I could go back to the way things were, that I could fix what I had irrevocably broken. But the thought of a life without Sam now felt empty, felt dull, felt like going back to that gilded cage I had so desperately tried to escape. I was trapped in my own, making a prisoner of my desires, my deceit, and my cowardice. The truth always finds a way out, doesn't it? A cruel inevitability. I had thought I was so careful, so clever at hiding my tracks. But betrayal leaves traces like a faint lingering scent, a hidden thread waiting to be pulled. One evening Jamie confronted me. The look on Jamie's face was etched with pain, confusion, and a deep, heartbreaking hurt. A wounded animal I had inflicted upon Jamie. Jamie had found something, a message, a receipt, a stray comment from a mutual friend, something small that unraveled my carefully constructed, intricate web of lies. It was devastating to witness the moment Jamie's world shattered before my eyes. The accusations, the disbelief, the crushing tears, they were unbearable to behold. I couldn't deny it. I couldn't lie anymore. The words caught in my throat, choked by an overwhelming wave of shame and regret. I confessed everything: the affair, the lies, the stolen moments, the hidden desires. It all came pouring out in a torrent of ugly truths, raw and brutal. Jamie's initial reaction was not anger. Not at first, it was pure, raw sorrow. A sound I will never forget. A broken whimper that tore my soul apart. Then came the anger, a righteous, incandescent fury that burned through the air. Jamie's voice, shaking with rage and pain, asking why, how could I do this to us? To everything we had built, to the sacred trust, the love we shared. I had no answers, no good explanations, only pathetic excuses, only the bitter truth that I was selfish and weak and profoundly lost in my own self-made darkness. The fallout was catastrophic. Our relationship disintegrated into a painful, agonizing mess of accusations and tears, unanswerable questions, and irreparable damage. Jamie moved out, taking all the shared memories and dreams with them. The house felt empty, a hollow shell echoing with my mistakes, my betrayals, my profound regret. I tried to apologize, to beg for forgiveness, to plead for another chance, but the trust was shattered beyond repair. A broken vase that couldn't be put back together. No matter how hard I tried to piece its fragments together, no amount of glue could fix what I had so carelessly broken. The guilt was no longer a quiet companion. It was a raging monster consuming me entirely, leaving me breathless and alone. I lost Jamie, a person who loved me unconditionally, a person I had taken so completely for granted. I lost our shared future, our intertwined dreams, our entire world. I lost a part of myself too. The part that was innocent and honest and capable of true, unwavering devotion. I was left alone with the wreckage of my choices. Sam's presence was there for a while, a fleeting comfort, a temporary distraction from the immense soul-crushing pain. But the foundation of our relationship was built on deceit, and that made it inherently unstable, built on sand. Eventually, Sam also faded away, unable to bear the weight of the destruction we had caused. Or perhaps just moving on to something new and shiny without the burden. I was left with nothing but regret, a bitter, acrid taste in my mouth, a constant ache in my chest, a hollow emptiness. I often wonder if the thrill was truly worth the monumental cost, if that brief, desperate escape from comfort was worth destroying everything precious and irreplaceable I had. I know the answer now with absolute, devastating clarity. It wasn't the momentary pleasure, the fleeting excitement, the transient rush. It pales in comparison to the lasting pain, the profound, irreparable loss, the deep, self-loathing and unending shame. I carry it with me every single day, a heavy burden, a constant, inescapable reminder of my failures, my selfishness, my betrayal. I learned a hard, painful, unforgiving lesson about the value of trust, about the fragility of love, about the immense power of choice and consequence, the devastating domino effect of a single selfish act. I pray that someday I can forgive myself, that someday I can rebuild a life founded on honesty, integrity, and genuine connection. But the scars of this betrayal, they will always remain a permanent, indelible mark on my soul, a testament to the devastating power of a secret heart and a broken promise.